Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade, and let's start with some news which hopefully involves the San Francisco 49ers winning the Super Bowl because we're recording this ahead of the game. Hopefully, I won my prop bet of DJ Khaled saying still in the meeting while tossing the coin to start the game paid off. Let's get into what I would like to call some hot takes. You might not call them hot, but I think they are. Damian Lillard and Adidas dropped an Adidas Dame 6 paying homage to Stone Cold Steve Austin, WWE legend and arguably the greatest of all time. That's cool and all, but what I'm still waiting on is Under Armour to step up and give us what we really want. The Project Rock trainers with the $500 shirt print. A woman used Tinder to save her and her friend from being stuck in an icy road in Norway. She created an account and used it to get in touch with a guy who was just, on the app for funsies and ended up being a hero. Good thing she used Tinder and not sneakers because, imagine swiping and then waiting in line and hoping someone will bail you out and then getting the sorry it didn't work out message because, bots. We will be blessed with dozens of new emojis this year courtesy of the Unicode Consortium. Some of the new emojis will include more gender inclusive options while others will just be super helpful and making sure your friend knows your milk tea will have boba in it. Unfortunately, for the 6th year in a row, my dream emoji of somebody watching me unbox sneakers on their phone was rejected. They keep telling me to kiss emoji unicorn emoji peach emoji. I don't get it. So for $350, you can pre-order a life-sized Baby Yoda that looks exactly like it does on the show. Not like those weird repurposed old Yodas that you're gonna see at the Disney store in a few weeks. So Baby Yoda's basically a little more expensive than the price of a new pair of Yeezy 700s. I'm surprised Kanye hasn't caught on and called a new colorway Yeeta or Yeezy or something. You know Kanye. And this week, I finally got to watch Bad Boys for Life, the third movie in the franchise, and the first in what I guess will be a wider Bad Boys cinematic universe because it made a lot of money at the box office. This quick spoiler-free hard pass review is quite simple. Go watch it in a theater. I know it's been a few weeks already, but this is not a movie that you watch on your couch. Bring your family, your friends, and watch it together with a bunch of strangers who can appreciate Martin Lawrence and Will Smith turning back the clock and being as funny and as sharp as they were in the first Bad Boys back in like 95. It might not be Michael Bay directing, but it has enough Michael Bay crazy in the action sequences and coherent non-Michael Bay storytelling that you'll enjoy the fun parts while making sense of the story. Yeah, they might be getting a little too old for the hijinks, but thankfully they still sing the song as badly as you remember it. All right, when we started Hard Pass last year, it was with the intent of speaking our mind about what's going on with the culture, whether it was good, bad, awesome, or lame. There were times we've been wrong with our takes about where sneakers were going, and there were times, that we've gotten it right. Like when we said on the first episode that the Air Jordan 1 Low was going to be super popular and that you better jump on that bandwagon. I'm fully on board with the lows, and besides, if you're like me and had a problem with the red on the University Gold colorway, put a Sharpie on it and boom, now it's Bordeaux. There's still room. Come on in. Fast forward a few months later, and what do we have here? Travis Scott's Jordan 1 Low becoming the go-to sneaker for people who want to flex on social media. Chris Paul cutting up his shattered backboard 3.0s to save him from the indignity of wearing those Krispy Kreme sneakers by at least being different. The Eric Costa Nike SB collabs that became sleeper hits, and the reveal by Tebow Dennis of a low-cut version of the highly anticipated Dior Air Jordan 1 that's secretly better and probably easier to wear. And not only that, casual sneakerheads are welcoming the Air Jordan 1 Lows and rocking them in red, green, purple, blue, and orange. A nice change of pace from the different shades of brown and gray Yeezy 350 V2s we've seen everywhere we go. This is not going to be us gloating about how we nailed that prediction so hard like we said the Lakers were going to trade everybody for Anthony Davis and became title contenders this year. Oh, what I am saying, of course, is we are going to gloat. You know how I realized that the Jordan 1 Lows were going to be here to stay? It's when memes like this started popping up when it was revealed we were getting another version of the Carolina Jordan 1 Low. It's not going to have the Costin and Nike SB endorsement, but it will basically be the same shoe with minor differences. You're telling me that some sneakerheads are so insecure about their purchases that they're going to drop Drake memes to clown on those who want these? Nah, it ain't gonna work. Those who aren't able to get the Costins are gonna look at this as a consolation prize and a perfect summertime sneaker. And if that that doesn't work for you, there's going to be a Black History Month Jordan 1 low, a Chinese New Year Jordan 1 low, a Varsity Red Jordan 1 low, etc., and on and on. The popularity of these and the resurgence of the Nike SB Dunk Lows and the Dunk Lows proper is a sign of the times. As a culture, we're not looking for the fanciest technology, although maybe putting lunar or React cushioning on these would be nice, just saying, but we just want sneakers that are easy to wear, easy to walk in, and easy to hype up. All right, let's get to the heat check. Let's start with the Air Jordan 34 Black Cat. These dropped on February 6th and they're $180. So after the success of the Black Cat Air Jordan 4 Retro, here's the modern take on the classic colorway. My one issue though, there are hits of electric green on the Eclipse plate and outsole. Is it really a Black Cat if it's not all black? Next up is the Nike PG4 Plaid. These drop on the 7th for $110. So the PG4 gets a new colorway that looks like something out of a mid-90s comedy set in the heart of Los Angeles, but since it's not official, we won't say anything. Friday. Next up, we have the Nike Dunk Low Plum. These drop on the 7th as well. Those are $110. 19 years after its initial release, the Plum Dunks are returning right when dunks are becoming the hottest thing in sneakers. It's almost like Nike plans these things in advance and that we should just calm down and not worry if a shoe is ever going to come back or not. My pick of the week, the Air Jordan 1 High 85 in Varsity Red. These drop on the 8th for $200. Now, this is as close to 1985 as it gets right now for Jordan 1 Retros, and I'll be very curious to see if this different take on the iconic bread style will be a hit with sneakerheads at $200. We are already pretty iffy at $160, and now we're going all the way up to a price point that has proven not to be an easy sell unless there were like 11 OGs and OG colorways or something. We'll have to see. It's time for Hard Pass, and this week's Hard Pass, it's going to be a little different. How can it not be after everything that has happened this week? We here at the show and in Los Angeles and really around the world are still coping with the loss of an icon and someone who we felt was going to continue that legacy, Kobe and Gianna Bryant's passing. Coupled with the family's loss last Sunday, it's a sadness that will be hard to ever truly get over. But in order to carry on, we have to keep it moving. And one way to do that is to let go, just like Kobe did. See, a few years ago, we had a chance to attend the launch of the first Nike signature Kobe sneaker after he retired. It was on November 1st, 2016, Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. Nike invited us to a dimly lit warehouse space in downtown LA where we were greeted to what looked like a mausoleum. It was filled with candles, memorials, and symbols of Kobe's playing career. It had pictures of his greatest and lowest moments on the court. It had sneakers, both old and of recent vintage. And it even had a book that you could sign and leave a message for Kobe. It was a tribute to Black Mamba. And on one side, there was a black wall. And on it, painted in gold, was a message. Let us all gather around and bid our farewells to the beautiful game of the Black Mamba. Gone are the days of the legendary fadeaway as he fades away to blackness. And after those of us in the media got over ourselves and started just talking about how surreal this all was, we were ushered into a different part of the warehouse to hear from Kobe himself. Sure, it was the debut of the Nike Kobe AD and the start of a new direction for Kobe's signature shoe line, but it was more than that. The presentation was less about us and what we thought about the shoe and more about Kobe. For him, this was catharsis. It was about him symbolically letting go of that part of his life, that part that consumed him and allowed him to become one of the greatest basketball players in the world. We love to talk about the Mamba mentality now and how it has affected an entire generation of not only basketball people, but people in general. But the guy who made it up was actually saying goodbye to it on that day 5 years ago. And you could actually tell from talking to Kobe and watching him, he was at peace. He was moving on with his life and getting ready for the next thing. And that included winning Oscars and opening sports academies to train a new generation of Black Mambas, including his daughter Gigi. He wasn't going to become an angry talking head on television and social media with hot takes and unfair critiques about the generation following him. No, he was going to mentor them and teach them. You've probably heard the stories about Kyrie Irving FaceTiming Kobe minutes after he made one of the greatest shots in NBA history during the 2016 finals, or Kawhi Leonard talking to Kobe after he won his second championship a few months ago. Kobe was that guy to this generation of hoopers, whether you wanted to accept it or not. Paul George called Kobe his Michael Jordan. DeMar DeRozan was the guy carrying Kobe's legacy on the court with the mid-range game and exclusive Kobe Protro colorways. Victor Oladipo called it the Mamba mentality after he hit a game-tying shot to tie the game. He meant that much to these group of players coming up, and he meant so much to us every time we crumpled up a piece of paper and threw it into a trash can like it's Game 7 of the finals, screaming, "Kobe!" Kobe Bryant let go of the Mamba mentality so he could share it with all of us. But I wondered aloud if he still has some left in the tank. Was there a chance he could make a comeback and wear 46? Was he going to shut down Dwight Howard's invitation to help him in the dunk contest with the same venom he had when Dwight left the Lakers? When LeBron James passed him on the all-time scoring list, there was a part of me that wanted Kobe to be snarky, to say that it's not about the points, it's the banners, and more importantly, the Laker banners. But Kobe wasn't about that anymore. Instead, he was gracious and congratulated LeBron on his way up the scoring ladder. He wasn't bitter, and he wasn't upset that somebody could have bested his numbers. He realized earlier than we did that the Mamba mentality wasn't about just being a ruthless shot taker on the court. It was also about paying it forward and appreciating whatever comes next. It's like he says, or at least I think he says it because everybody else is attributing this quote to him, the most important thing is to try and inspire people so that they can be great in whatever they want to do. And I think the message got through to a number of his fans. I saw so many tweets and messages saying that after Kobe's passing, they were done arguing with randoms online about who was better. They saw the futility in fighting over something that was never going to have a resolution. Who would have thought the guy who gave us meme gold with his evil stares and his trade everybody declarations and his yelling at others for being soft would also be the guy who taught us that pettiness doesn't really solve anything? That might be his greatest gift of all. So if you're still hurting from his passing, it's okay to grieve. If you never cared for him or thought of him as somebody who doesn't deserve all this adulation, that's just as valid. But what we should never do is tell somebody else what to do and how to feel in a time like this. There will come a day when we can all get together and have arguments about who was the one true GOAT. There will also come a day when we reckon with the totality of Kobe Bryant. But hopefully, when it does come to pass, it'll be in good faith this time around. Because the lesson I learned on November 1st, 2016, 5 years later, is that there will come a time where we all fade to black. We just have to be ready to accept it and let it go. Mamba forever, and all of us. All right, that's going to do it for this show. Thank you guys for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade, and we'll be back with another episode in a few weeks. I'll see you soon. Peace.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you, bro.
Man, good to see you too, man.
Good to see you too.